Hey, I hope you're having an awesome day. Let's spend a little bit of time and let's go through some of the basic terminology and concepts as it relates to sourcing materials and services. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is what would be considered foundational knowledge. This is a simplified view of the value chain, and within it, what you'll notice is that procurement plays a continuous and interconnected role that supports every single stage, and it loops back to ensure long-term success. Here's a basic overview of how the flow works. We begin with product development. This is simply the creation of new products or services. Procurement is involved from the start by helping source materials or components necessary for this development phase. This collaboration ensures that the right resources are available for both design and innovation. Then procurement jumps in again with supplier selection. At this point, the product has been conceptualized, and procurement's focus is on selecting suppliers that can meet the needs of the business, evaluating them based on cost, quality, and reliability, and naturally ensuring that what they can provide aligns with the specification for the product. This is crucial for ensuring that the procurement process is aligned with the broader company's strategic goals. Then we move on to procurement. Once suppliers are selected, procurement manages the acquisition of the necessary goods and services. It ensures that materials are delivered on time at the right cost and at the required quantity. This procurement process feeds directly into the next phase, which is production. When you look at production and operations, the procured materials or services are used in this process. Procurement works closely with operations to maintain the flow of inputs, ensuring that there are no bottlenecks and that the production process remains efficient and effective. As you look at logistics and distribution, naturally, this happens before and after production. As you look at it, products and raw materials need to be transported and ultimately, after production, distributed. Procurement ensures that logistics providers are selected and managed effectively, facilitating smooth movement of products from factories to warehouses or retail locations, and at times, directly to consumers. As you look at sales and marketing, the availability of goods affects their ability to execute their strategy and their strategy in general. Procurement supports these departments by ensuring sufficient stock levels so that products are always ready for sale and promotion to our customers. After the sale, customer service plays a critical role in maintaining relationships and dealing with any issues that arise. Procurement continues to ensure that replacement parts or services are readily available, supporting the after-sales processes. If you look at it from the standpoint, once again, of new product introduction and development, the reality is as feedback is garnered from customers and market conditions prevail, it might lead to new innovations, adjustments in sourcing strategies, or updates to your supplier relationships. So within it, procurement continues to play a key role in ensuring that every new demand that comes is efficiently met. Purchasing, procurement, and strategic sourcing kind of sound similar, but have distinct roles in acquiring goods and services. Here's a quick breakdown. Purchasing, well, it's the transactional process, placing orders, receiving goods, and making payments. It's focused on getting items quickly at the right price and in the short term. For example, ordering office supplies. Procurement or tactical procurement is a little bit broader, covering everything from sourcing to supplier relationships. It includes managing contracts, negotiating deals, and ensuring long-term value. For instance, managing supplier relationships for an order that happens again and again. Then you look at strategic sourcing, also known as strategic procurement. This is a long-term proactive approach. It aims to optimize the supply chain by building strong supplier partnerships, reducing costs over time, and ensuring ethical sourcing. An example would be collaborating with a supplier to co-develop a product that aligns with your company's sustainability goals. So if you look at all three, purchasing is focused on immediate transactions. Procurement covers the full buying process, and strategic sourcing or strategic procurement aligns purchasing decisions with long-term business strategy. Strategic sourcing is advanced. It involves deeper planning and collaboration. Strategic sourcing extends far beyond buying at the lowest price. It's a comprehensive approach that aims to maximize value over time. The objective is to maximize complete value from suppliers, to reduce costs, to manage risk, and build supplier relationships. Why does it matter? Well, it enables your company to have competitive advantage, innovation, and sustainable supply chain management. There's several key aspects of strategic sourcing. It begins with spend analysis. To make informed sourcing decisions, it's important to know exactly where your money is being spent. By analyzing past spending, companies can identify areas where costs can be reduced or supplier efficiency improved. For instance, a business might discover that consolidating purchases with a single supplier could result in bulk discounts. Next is supplier evaluation and selection. Not all suppliers are created equal, and strategic sourcing requires assessing all suppliers based on factors like price, quality, sustainability, and alignment with your overall organization values. The goal is to choose suppliers who not only meet immediate needs, but also offer long-term value and innovation. Negotiation and contract management follow, where procurement professionals focus not just on price, but on securing favorable terms in areas like delivery timelines, service levels, and risk sharing. Effective contract management ensures both parties meet their obligations and that the terms of the deal are followed. Finally, you have supplier relationship management, known as SRM. This is key to long-term success. Building strong collaborative relationships with suppliers goes beyond simple transactions. It's about developing partnerships that encourage mutual growth, innovation, and efficiency. For example, companies might work closely with suppliers to improve product designs or to develop new technologies. Strategic sourcing provides a number of advantages to an organization. If you continually optimize procurement, organizations can reduce their costs, manage risks, and actually have more innovation. Beyond the financial benefits, companies that prioritize sustainability in their sourcing can also enhance their reputation and contribute to long-term environmental goals. In our daily lives, not everything holds the same level of importance or risk. For instance, while you might really care about having a specific brand of shoes, you might not be as particular about the brand of socks you wear. Similarly, in procurement and supply chain management, different items or services can have varying degrees of importance and risk. The quadrant technique categorizes items based on two key factors, risk and value. So let's break down the four quadrants. We begin with generics in the lower left-hand corner. These items are considered low risk and contribute little value to the final product or service. In daily life, this could be compared to something like generic cleaning supplies. They aren't hard to replace and don't affect your day much if something goes wrong. Within business, examples would include office supplies, basic tools, and cleaning materials. The focus within procurement on this area is on cost efficiency and ensuring availability because these items are easily replaceable and don't require strategic sourcing. In the lower right-hand quadrant, you have commodities. These items are still low risk, but offer more value or profit potential. Think of this within your daily life with something like everyday clothes. They're important to your appearance and comfort, but easy to replace. Examples in the business world would be basic production materials, packaging, and logistics services. Within procurement, the focus is on securing reliable suppliers at competitive prices because these items impact production and profitability. In the upper left-hand corner, we have distinctives. These items are high risk, but don't add significant value. In personal terms, this could be something like a specialized tool or ingredient that's necessary for a specific hobby, but doesn't directly impact your daily life. In a business perspective, an example would be specialized parts or unique ingredients. So if you're within procurement, the focus is on risk mitigation and supplier management, as these items may be harder to find or replace despite having a lower value. And then you have the upper right-hand quadrant. These are the criticals. These are the items that are both high risk and high value. They're kind of like your high-end essential items in your life. Things you can't easily replace or that have a big impact on your lifestyle. From a business perspective, examples would include unique or vital components or materials critical to your main product or your service. So for example, if you're making a cheese pizza, a crust and cheese are critical items. From a procurement focus perspective, you're leaning into strategic sourcing, long-term partnerships, and robust contracts to be able to mitigate risks and ensure a steady supply of these crucial items. So, in summary, this framework helps organizations prioritize their procurement strategies, focusing resources where they're most needed based on risk and value associated with each item or service. Similarly, in your life, you focus more energy on the things that matter most while managing less important items with minimal effort. As we look at our own lives, we might buy groceries or we might buy big ticket items like a car, and we all realize that not all purchases are the same. So if you compare it to procurement, different types of purchases need different strategies. So there's three major types of buys that we're going to go over. We'll begin with capital goods. They're big, expensive purchases that last a long, long time. It could be things like equipment or buildings. These buys need careful planning since they're big investments and impact the company for years to come. Then there's a category called rebuys. These are regular purchases you make over and over, things like office supplies or materials for production. They help keep things running smoothly for your company, but sometimes need adjustments when requirements change. And then there's what is called MRO, maintenance, repair, and operations. This is essentially the day-to-day stuff that keeps things working, like cleaning supplies or maintenance tools. These items, MROs, are crucial to keeping operations going, but don't require as much planning as would a big ticket items. So as you look at these categories, understanding these helps companies decide the right purchasing strategy to ensure they're most effectively using all of the resources that they have. Strategic sourcing is about aligning an organization's purchasing decisions with its larger goals, ensuring long-term value by effectively managing supplier relationships. It involves 5 key principles that lay the foundation for success. First off, it's essential to focus on the total value, not just the lowest price. Organizations need to consider factors like quality, service, sustainability, and long-term benefits to maximize their investment returns over time. Next, you need to tailor sourcing strategies to different categories. As you look at it, each type of purchase, whether it's office supplies or large capital goods, requires a customized approach to ensure resources are optimized for the specific market conditions and supplier dynamics. Equally important is evaluating your internal needs before approaching suppliers. Collaborating with different internal departments helps procurement teams understand the organization's specifications, quality standards, and timelines, ensuring that the right products or services are sourced to support your organizational goals. Another vital principle is understanding supplier economics. Within it, you are assessing the financial health and cost structure of your suppliers. And through this, your organization can negotiate better deals as well as secure consistent supply to meet your demand. Finally, strategic sourcing is an ongoing effort that thrives on continuous improvement. Regularly evaluating your supplier performance and looking for ways to enhance cost, quality, and innovation ensures that your organization stays competitive and helps ensure long-term growth with your suppliers. Through focusing on these 5 principles, which include total value, tailored strategies, internal needs, supplier economics, and continuous improvement, your organization will have a very strong procurement framework that supports your overall long-term success. This slide depicts a typical strategic sourcing process, which once again may vary based on the organization you're in. On the ensuing slides, we'll go through a lot more detail, but here's a quick overview. Within it, first off, it's kind of a step-by-step approach to procure goods and services efficiently. It begins by developing a strategic plan. With this, you would typically form a cross-functional team and agree on the scope of the sourcing process. For example, a technology company might create a team that includes members from finance, operations, and procurement to lead the sourcing of critical software tools. Next, you need to understand the spend. This is where companies analyze their spending patterns. This might reveal that consolidating suppliers can lead to cost savings, such as a retailer finding that ordering bulk materials from a single supplier reduces your shipping cost. In evaluating supply sources, organizations conduct a market analysis to find the right suppliers. This might involve comparing multiple suppliers based on criteria like cost, quality, and innovation potential, as seen when a manufacturer sources components from different regions. Once the suppliers are evaluated, the sourcing strategy is finalized. Here, businesses determine which suppliers align best with their long-term goals. For example, a pharmaceutical company might prioritize suppliers with a strong track record for sustainability and innovation. Next, implementing the sourcing strategy involves managing the procurement process and selecting suppliers. This could include selecting a long-term partner for logistics after thorough negotiations. In onboarding and transitioning, the focus shifts to setting up management processes and ensuring a smooth transition for new suppliers. For example, an e-commerce company might set up regular check-ins with a newly selected warehouse provider to ensure timely deliveries. Finally, you have collaborative process improvement that emphasizes continuous improvement through feedback. An automotive company, for example, might work with suppliers to develop more efficient parts manufacturing processes, which improves both cost and quality over time. Once again, while each organization's specific process might vary, the concept of following a structured strategic sourcing process is essential to be able to optimize your supplier relationships and to achieve better procurement outcomes. On the following slides, we'll go through more detail on each of these steps to aid in understanding. The first and most critical step in the sourcing process is developing a strategic plan, which acts as the foundation for everything that follows. A well-structured strategic sourcing plan, known as a SSP, outlines objectives, timelines, and metrics, ensuring that the sourcing strategy aligns with the broader business goals. To make the plan robust, it's essential to include a cross-functional team with members from finance, operations, and procurement, each offering unique insights. Next, it's important to identify key team members who have knowledge and authority to guide procurement and supplier management decisions. Finally, establishing a consensus on the scope of the sourcing project, defining what goods or services are being sourced from which regions, and the level of involvement from stakeholders sets clear expectations from the beginning, avoiding confusion down the road. So, if you look at it in summary, the strategic plan creates a very solid foundation by bringing together the right people, setting clear goals, and ensuring everyone is aligned on the scope early on, which sets the stage for a successful sourcing initiative. Understanding your organization's spending is critical for effective sourcing. This step involves two main parts. First, refining sourcing needs, and secondly, conducting a detailed spend analysis. As you look at refining sourcing needs, this involves clarifying what different departments require and translating those needs into measurable criteria, such as quality standards or delivery timelines. And then you conduct a spend analysis to determine how much is being spent, who it's being spent with, and what categories the money is going toward. By analyzing spending by supplier, category, and internal users, you can identify areas for improvement and increase your efficiency. Additionally, as you look at understanding spend, this is a stage where you need to make a decision on make versus buy, whether it's more cost effective to produce items yourself, known as make, or to purchase from suppliers, which is to buy. With this, you always carefully weigh the costs and risks of each choice. So, if you summarize this step, it ensures that your organization makes data-driven decisions by understanding spending patterns and identifying opportunities for improvement. Next, we evaluate supply sources. This is a situation where the goal is to find and compare suppliers that best meet your organization's needs. You begin by identifying all potential suppliers and compare them on areas like cost, quality, and reliability to find the right fit. Then you cast a wide net. Why? To encourage competition, which leads to better pricing and terms. Next, you need to simplify your purchasing by clearly defining what your organization requires and streamlining the process itself. You also rationalize products, or what that means is you reduce unnecessary product variety. This helps make the supply chain a lot more efficient. Then, you focus on pricing, consolidating purchases, and modernizing relationships. Consolidating your buying power can lead to better terms and build modern collaborative supplier relationships, which drive long-term value and innovation. So as you look at evaluating supply sources, it enables you to identify the best suppliers, streamline your sourcing, and foster efficient supplier relationships. Let's take a moment and look at finalizing your sourcing strategy. Within this, you're evaluating suppliers and making data-driven decisions. The strategy should now outline clear criteria for selecting suppliers based on cost, quality, reliability, and alignment with your long-term goals. Significant time and resources are invested in gathering the right information, which includes supplier research, requests for proposals, known as RFPs, and ensuring suppliers meet your organizational requirements. This process narrows down the best candidates. And finally, internal data like budgets and external factors such as market conditions are taken into consideration. You may also do supplier site visits to verify their capabilities. With all the data gathered, the final supplier selection is made. So if you look at this stage in summary, it involves narrowing the field of potential suppliers through detailed research proposals and validation, leading to a well-informed sourcing strategy ready to implement. Boeing's 787 aircraft supply chain is a great example of a global sourcing strategy. Boeing sources parts from all over the world, taking advantage of specialized suppliers in different regions. For instance, engines come from Ohio and the United Kingdom, while wings are made in Japan. This global network allows Boeing to tap into expertise from various regions and ensures high-quality production. A key part of Boeing's strategy is specialization. Each supplier focuses on a specific component like wings, fuselage, or engines. This ensures precision and reduced risks by diversifying the supply base. If one region faces disruptions like a natural disaster, Boeing can rely on other suppliers to fill the gap. Additionally, Boeing forms long-term partnerships with companies like GE or General Electric and Rolls-Royce, focusing on strategic value over just cost. By carefully coordinating the logistics of these globally sourced parts, Boeing ensures a smooth assembly process. When finalizing your sourcing strategy, there's several key factors to consider, as outlined on the slide. Imagine you're choosing a contractor for your house renovation. You wouldn't just pick the cheapest or the fastest option. You'd look at several aspects to ensure the project meets your expectations. So we can look at quality. Just like you'd expect high quality materials for a home renovation, sourcing looks at technical specifications, ease of repair, and product life. You want reliability and dependable performance from your suppliers. As we look at reliability, it's about on-time delivery and a track record of performance. Would you hire a contractor who's always late or leaves jobs unfinished? The same principle applies to suppliers. Then you look at risk. What's the risk if something goes wrong? If a supplier can't meet deadlines or has potential cost risks, it impacts your project. Managing risk is critical to have smooth operations. Then you look at capability. Does the supplier have the capability, both technical and managerial, to deliver on what's promised? This is like ensuring your contractor has the skills and team to handle your renovation effectively. As you look at financials, the cost of products matters, but so does the supplier's financial stability. You don't want a supplier who might go out of business mid-project, just like you wouldn't hire a financially unstable contractor. Then you look at desirable qualities. As you look at this, it involves things like cultural compatibility, supplier locations, and packaging. On the face, it might seem minor, but can have a big impact. If your supplier is easy to work with and conveniently located, it can make a huge difference. From a sustainability standpoint, sustainability is more than just a nice to have. It's about efficiency, long-term planning, and sometimes even cost savings, much like using energy-efficient appliances in a home. By evaluating suppliers on a number of different criteria, you ensure that you're making informed, strategic decisions that support your long-term goals. Implementing the sourcing strategy kicks off the procurement process through evaluating suppliers. This involves negotiating or bidding to secure the best possible terms. You'll prioritize certain criteria based on what's most important to your organization. It may be price, quality, or reliability, but you also likely will remain flexible to be able to adapt to unexpected factors. Other considerations, like a supplier's innovation potential or sustainability practices, might also play a crucial role. The goal is to choose suppliers who meet all the key criteria, aligning with both your operational and strategic goals to ensure a successful partnership. In the onboarding and transitioning phase of strategic sourcing, the organization finalizes agreements with selected suppliers, ensuring that both parties are aligned on expectations in terms of the agreement. This stage is pretty important for creating smooth management processes for new suppliers, which includes setting up systems for monitoring performance, managing communications, and handling day-to-day operations. Once these processes are in place, the transition from previous suppliers to new ones is carefully managed to avoid disruptions in operations. For example, when a company switches its primary supplier for raw materials, it would finalize contracts, train its staff on how to handle the new supplier's systems, and coordinate a timeline for the seamless handover of responsibilities. Proper onboarding and transitioning sets the stage for a successful long-term supplier relationship. In the collaborative process improvement phase, the goal is to continuously enhance the supplier relationship through regular feedback and communication. Both the organization and its suppliers analyze savings, comparing results with initial goals to identify areas for improvement. This process isn't static. It's influenced by various factors such as internal company dynamics, supplier interactions, government regulations, and market conditions. For example, if a company notices inefficiencies in its supply chain, it might work with suppliers to streamline operations or adapt new technologies, leading to mutual benefits like cost reductions and quality improvements. By maintaining this collaborative approach, both the company and suppliers can adapt and grow together. Strategic supplier relationship management, also known as SRM, is similar to how companies manage customer relationships. The idea is to segment suppliers based on their importance to your business, allowing you to prioritize the right relationships. At the top are partnerships. This typically involves 2 to 5 key suppliers that are critical for your long-term success. These suppliers work closely with you on innovation and big projects. Think of a car manufacturer partnering with a high-tech battery supplier for electric vehicles. Next, we have collaborative relationships. This is your next 10 to 50 suppliers who help with co-creating products or improving processes. For example, a tech company might collaborate with chip manufacturers to improve product designs. Then you have operational suppliers. This is literally hundreds of them. They handle more routine needs, like perhaps providing office supplies or maintenance materials. And finally, at the base, you have transactional suppliers. They number in the thousands, and they provide highly commoditized goods where price and availability are the main concern, such as perhaps basic corrugate packaging or cleaning supplies. By segmenting suppliers this way, organizations can focus their management efforts where it matters most, which is on building stronger relationships with their most strategic partners. Effective supplier management is all about building strong, collaborative relationships with your key suppliers. Regular communication and structured business reviews are critical for tracking performance and for ensuring alignment with your goals. The closer the relationship, the more likely you are to have innovation and collaboration. For example, holding quarterly business reviews with top suppliers helps identify areas for improvement, addresses challenges early, and explores new opportunities together, ultimately leading to a more efficient and innovative supply chain. This mutual effort strengthens the partnership and drives long-term success for both parties. Total landed cost, or TLC, refers to the complete cost of getting a product from its origin to the final buyer. It covers all expenses along the supply chain. This includes not only the purchase price, but also additional costs like shipping, customs, duties, insurance, storage, and handling. For example, if you're importing goods, total landed costs would factor in shipping costs, any tariffs at the border, insurance, warehousing, and final delivery to the buyer. Understanding the total landed costs helps a business get a true picture of what a product actually costs, leading to more informed decisions on both sourcing and pricing. This table simply compares the total landed cost for sourcing a product from 3 different countries, China, Vietnam, and the European Union, to Switzerland. It breaks down the various costs involved. For example, it looks at the net purchase price. And you'll see that the base price varies by country, with China at 10,000, Vietnam at 8,000, and the EU at 12,000. Then it looks at transportation costs, and you'll notice shipping costs also vary based on distance from each of the countries to Switzerland. Customs charges apply differently also. When you add all these up, the total landed cost varies, with the EU option being the cheapest at $14,203, even though it actually has the highest purchase price. This example truly highlights the importance of considering the full range of costs, not just the base price, when making a sourcing decision. E-sourcing and e-procurement are digital tools that help companies streamline their supplier management and purchasing processes. E-sourcing focuses on finding and evaluating suppliers using digital platforms, making it easier to compare options based on factors like cost, reliability, and delivery speed. For example, instead of manual comparisons, a manufacturing company can use automated tools to quickly analyze bids from suppliers. This also automates processing like managing RFIs, which is requests for information, and RFPs, which is requests for proposals, saving time and improving decision making. On the other hand, e-procurement automates the actual purchasing process, from reordering inventory to negotiating contracts. For instance, a retail company can automatically place orders when stock levels fall below a set point. These tools improve efficiency, reduce errors, and cut costs by managing everything from purchase orders to contract renewals in one platform. Together, e-sourcing and e-procurement make the entire supplier and purchasing process more efficient, which ensures better supplier relationships and operational success. E-sourcing and e-procurement tools bring significant advantages to businesses by automating many repetitive tasks and improving collaboration with suppliers. Process automation helps reduce manual work by automatically handling things like purchase orders or supplier evaluations. This allows procurement teams to focus on more strategic activities like improving supplier relationships or analyzing cost savings. For example, a logistics company can use online tools to negotiate with suppliers, speeding up agreements and ensuring that all interactions are stored digitally for future reference. Another major benefit is the ability to manage contracts and supplier relationships more effectively. Collaboration and contract management tools enable businesses to closely work with suppliers throughout the contract lifecycle, avoiding lapses, tracking performance, and ensuring agreements are renewed on time. By having all supplier and contract information in one centralized location, companies can stay compliant with legal and contractual obligations while also improving their efficiency. Overall, these tools lead to better pricing, stronger supplier relationships, and a more efficient procurement process.